Welcome to Cuentame USA with Moncho Camano. This week, we're going to have a conversation. We stay in the United States. Usually I go to Europe. This time, they're around the corner. So I'm going to have a conversation with I think it's more like a dream pop shoegaze band. They can tell me, there's so many different genres they use, so they will tell me. There's a band from Baltimore, Maryland, right here in the United States. They call themselves Talking to Shadows. And we got two of the founding members. I believe they're the founding members of this band. Carolyn Gilde, which is right there on my right. And then she's the singer and songwriter, the band. And then we got Ron Weldon, with he does the bass. Does a good job too. He's the bassist, Mr. Ron Weldon. How you doing?
Good.
Good, really good to be here.
All right. So how is Baltimore treating you?
Baltimore's fine. It's a little cold, but it's nice today, though. So
beautiful day here. Also. So you are a four-piece band, I believe, and you are the two founding members. The other two members, they also started with you guys, or they started after?
They started later to a certain degree. We have an original guitar player. He developed some hearing problems. So as we started to practice more and the volume started increasing, it was harder. He started getting ringing in the ears. So he kind of had to step back from it.
Okay.
And that just left Carolyn and I, and we were searching for drummers, went through a couple drummers. Then I found Greg, and I really liked what he was doing, so that he came aboard.
So when did Greg Palmer, the guitar, came? Because that's your guitar player, right? Palmer?
Yes. So what do you think? 3-4 years ago, maybe? Yeah, 3-4 years ago, I think he joined. And then we again went through one or two different drummers. We had like a sit-in drummer for a while, and Greg had a friend who plays drums who's in the band now, Alex, and he decided to join. And ever since then, it's been the four of us.
Just let me say, I found out about this band when I saw the video. Ruin came out last year, I believe. No, 2022. Was it 2022? No, 2021, I think. When you put out that video. Before I forget, let me ask you a question regarding the video itself. Did you ask for permission to film this movie, this video clip?
No, we just kind of did it.
All right, because it's during the day, so I was wondering if they have a permit or something. And it's fun to do it, I guess, but I was surprised that you tell me that no permission, nobody around.
So depending on the location, some will have on their website. So we did a little bit of research.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. It came out really good. That's why. Well, that was the first song I ever listened to you guys. That's why it caught my attention. I usually like to listen to new things, experiment with new bands, and that's how I came across your video, I believe, on YouTube. So that's what caught my attention. I was going to ask you regarding your growing up in Baltimore, because you were born in Baltimore, in the city. Both of you?
So I was born about 20 minutes south of Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I spent a lot of time in the city, but didn't move here until a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you were in other bands before putting together the Talking for Shadows band, right? You were on two different bands before that, Ron? You were into
I was in, as a kid, I was in mostly punk bands, post-punk bands.
Okay.
I played in a band called Gray March here in Baltimore. like we were active 84 to maybe 86.
Okay.
Played with a lot of bigger punk bands back in that day. Did some touring. Yeah, till that ran its course. Then I sat in with another local band when their singer left. I started singing for them. So I sang for this band Reptile House, which was on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just done little side projects here and there.
You always play bass, Ron, or you play other
So
instruments?
I played synthesizer in Gray March, and like I said, I sang briefly in Reptile House.
Hmm.
I picked up bass when I came back to Baltimore because it was something I always wanted to do. I just never had time to learn.
Right. What about you, Caroline? Because you got a beautiful, when you sing, there's very, very nice, beautiful melodies that you put out.
Thank
Do you play any instruments besides singing, or that was everything for you? Nothing else, just singing part.
So prior to Talking to Shadows, I had only really played by myself and not played out or anything like that. And I played piano growing up and guitar badly played guitar growing up. So, but piano and then keyboard. And so, and I started producing sort of, on a very, very, very small amateur scale by myself. And that's why I started singing, because someone needed to sing the songs that I was writing. So that's kind of how singing didn't come first at all.
Do you have teaching lessons before when you were a kid, or just you learn just by yourself?
So with piano, my parents tried to have me take lessons, but I was pretty bad at practicing and studying the notes. I wish I had now, though.
Yeah, but still very nice. I had a question. I saw a couple of songs that you published under a different name. Is it Pai Mai?
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my solo project that I was working on prior to joining Talking to Shadows.
You put out a couple of songs that I listened. You look a little different on the photo I saw. And I was wondering, this Pai Mai, or I don't know how to say it. Is this Portuguese or something? No, probably not.
I may. So really, I'm not sure. I took the name from several different movies that had a character named Pi, and sort of it's about 4 different movies, and each of the characters are named, and I kind of matched it.
Oh, because in Portuguese it means like father and mother. So I was like surprised, It was a surprise for me. So I guess we could say right now, because you published your first EP in summer 2021, and it was recorded during the pandemic, right? In the 2020, you put out 4 songs that I listened to. To tell you the truth, I like Ruin, but the last one is the one I like the most, Well Song. It was my favorite. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, they're really nice. You put out this EP, then you put out also 2 songs, 2 singles. I guess they will go in the new album that you're working on, or you're still working. I don't know about that. The one song that you published, like re-recorded twice, I believe, right? Give me some of you. You have to record it twice. You didn't like the first cut, the first song, how it came out. You decided to make some touch up on those.
Yeah, I think the mix is different in the newer version,
Right.
and it's a little bit faster.
Okay.
I just think in the studio where we recorded our newest stuff, it just the product came out a lot nicer. It was more we had more control over it and we had more time to work on it to make it right. Wanted to just redo that song while we were in there.
It's a very nice constructed song for me, my taste. I love the guitar distortion, and it's like a heavy feeling on that song. So that came out good.
Thank you.
Nice. It's hard to see some performance of you live. Well, there are a performance of you live playing that song and some other songs. Just as hard is to get the substance of the feeling, you know, the sound, because you know it's taped with a recorder or a phone or something, so you don't get all the substance of your band. The songs I listen to, unless they're like you know, video or or Spotify or something like that. So there's probably very nice to see you live, and you get a better feeling than seeing it on a little phone. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, exactly.
Right. So there's nothing like live stuff. Going to see you guys live.
Yeah, I think the live performance of it, I think really kind of brings the intensity of the music out more.
Right.
But I think the song we're getting ready to release in a couple weeks, right? That song I think we're really proud of, and I think it's some of our best work yet. I think you hopefully will be surprised at the outcome of that. It's still in line with what we do. I just think it's at like a whole nother level of stuff in a direction really where we want to go.
So are you working on an EP or a full LP?
We're kind of just like trying to really perfect the sound. So when we're going in, we create songs and then we'll go in and maybe work on 2 or 3 songs, try to get them the best they can be in the time that we have.
Right.
Because all of the stuff we're doing, we're funding ourselves.
I understand.
As you know, studio time is very expensive.
Very expensive. Even touring is very expensive.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I understand. So far I know you play in different states, the ones that are close by Maryland, I guess, right? I know you play Richmond, Virginia, right?
Right.
And you have a couple dates for this year that I saw. But have you played other states besides Maryland and Virginia last year?
We played once in Washington, D.C.
Washington. Okay.
Like during the summer. We're always trying to get out to play different places. Just the availability of shows and, you know, how to make contacts and get those shows and get the shows with bands that we think will work.
Right. Now, tell me about the style that you have, because it has a lot of 90s influence that I see. Is that the music you grew up with, listening to when you were like not teenagers, I guess, in high school? What kind of music were you listening to?
I mean, for me, it's the 90s is kind of like I'm like aware of 90s stuff. I'm more connected to like 80s stuff. You know, early 80s gothic stuff and post-punk stuff is really what I dig. To me, the 90s stuff kind of is influenced by 80s stuff. Like when we see shoegaze, I think shoegaze came from things like Cocteau Twins and Cheese Mary Chain.
Right.
Everyone else in the band is a little younger than myself, so they experienced the 90s in a different way.
Okay.
Carolyn can speak to that.
Right. So you're like the 80s, you're like me. When I was young, not that long ago, I used to listen to all those bands. and because I live very close to New York, I was like going to all those clubs like CBGB, where I saw all those bands, and Jersey also, I used to listen like to Black Flag and the
Oh,
Kennedys.
me too. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the Cramps I saw a bunch of times.
I've always seen them. I only saw them once.
Yeah, so although I'm from the 80s, I guess Caroline, like you said, is from the 90s. I don't know. There are a lot of good bands in the 90s. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right? No, no. You ever go to City Gardens in New Jersey?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I went there too. Yeah,
Yeah, I was one of those crazy guys going everywhere.
yeah.
But I listen to everything, I like jazz, I like blues, I like everything. Almost everything, almost. Don't say everything. Almost. So I guess that's how you came up with the sound. Do the other two members live in nearby you guys, or how long? I mean, how often do you guys practice?
We try to do once a week, right?
Okay.
A week usually.
Try to.
Try to. It's managing everyone's schedule. People have families, people have work.
Right.
We try to do at least once a week.
Hmm.
And they live fairly close by.
Mhm.
Carolyn and I are the only two that live within the city.
Okay. Hmm. I was going to ask you, Caroline, regarding the lyrics. You are
Mhm.
more into like charming lyrics, beauty, the ones that have a little more beauty, or you're looking more to the ugliness and the roughness of life.
Yeah, I definitely have, I think, a dark element that I like to dive into with my lyrics, but I still think that darkness is beautiful. So I wouldn't consider it still ugly, but comfortable, familiar, but definitely dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm. I guess, like Brown was mentioning, the goth look, um, that has a lot to do with your music, no? A little bit, like the dark. Oh, not you don't do dark wave music, but it still has some like a little spices mixed.
Yeah, it has, I believe it has a little bit of a crossover kind of feel to it.
Right.
With Gothic stuff, there's so much in that scene that I
Hmm.
think it certain things appeal to certain people in that kind of subculture. It's
Hmm.
it's more, people will gravitate towards bands like I was saying previously, like Cocteau Twins, Dead
Right.
Can Dance. They'll like all that kind of stuff that's not identified as Gothic,
Right.
but they appreciate it. Like for an example, I don't think Joy Division ever came out saying we're a goth band, but a
Hmm.
lot of goths sure love them.
Right. They didn't look like a goth band either.
Not a goth band, right? But they sure love them, and they used a lot of that. Joy Division used a lot of that imagery, too, on some of their little bit later stuff.
Right.
So for us, I think we fit in somewhere along that line of, like you were saying at the beginning about the dream pop shoegaze stuff, which
Right.
is where the 90s influence comes from in the guitar work,
Right.
because Greg is, I think, heavily influenced by a lot of the 90s shoegaze stuff,
Right.
which I'm totally unfamiliar with. Then, I bring in the 80s kind of stuff,
Hmm.
and then it all kind of just meshes together with all the interests of everybody else, and it just creates a sound that where we're
Yeah.
very flexible.
Yeah. It's not like they are like the melodies, they're like very complicated. They're like simple but very effective, I could say. We're not talking like a progressive metal band that they go all over the place.
Right.
Mhm.
You are in your own style. which is that's what I like also. Um, do you like to start an album with the heaviest song, or just creeping into the album slowly with,
What do
or
you
really
mean?
makes no difference for you to have like the heaviest song in the first song, and then just whatever songs you like, or it makes no difference for you when if you want to put up an album, does it make a difference? Which
That's a good question. For me, I think that I could think that the way that would make sense to do it is to build up in some kind of way and then create a closure to that build up.
right,
But I don't know how we chose the order of the last.
right, like for those songs for the EP, there was no thinking besides the way they were set up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really,
I
you
don't
never thought
really.
about it?
I think from my perspective, I would rather come in like a little softer than come in real loud and heavy,
Hmm.
because I don't want to just freak people out, so that, they usually, with music that I listen to, I
Right,
can I can tell whether I like it or not within the first couple seconds of something, first 30 seconds. I'm looking
right,
for certain things. And as a bass player into gothic stuff, I'm looking for the bass line. Like, what is the bass doing? How's that sound?
hmm,
And I'm looking for something more laid back. You know, I don't like a lot of really harsh noise in the beginning. I want an atmosphere to build.
hmm,
I think that kind of dictates for me how I would choose
right.
something.
I probably do the same thing unless I knew the band. But if it's a new record or a new band listening to, if I hear like a very heavy, fast song, I'm gonna think that the rest of the songs are gonna be very similar.
Hmm.
I
Right.
may just stop there if I didn't like the song. Now, if
Right.
like you're saying it's like a build up, then you start, seeing the construction of the song, or different sounds or different instruments going, then make catch your attention a little more. I think. I don't know, like Ron is saying.
Mhm.
Unless I know the band and I know they can play any kind of song, so it doesn't catch me by surprise.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess it's kind of thinking about the audience you're trying to reach.
right. Hmm. So, what do you enjoy the most being a musician? The two of you. Why did you get into music? Just to start with, because it's a hard thing. It's not an easy profession, especially nowadays. It's not like maybe 20 years ago, but now it's very hard. And I see like, unless you're like always making a lot of times stupid shit, but like videos, little videos, and TikTok and this and that, and it's just showing what I'm doing. If I'm coming my head to the right side or the left side, or if I'm, so much stuff. You gotta be in the social media all the time. For people that they don't really care about that, it's hard to get people to notice you. That's what I'm thinking right now. I don't know if that's the way you believe is going on right now.
But yeah, I think it's very difficult in these times with all the social media and all the access to ways to create music. People
Right.
are flooding the system with
Mm.
tons of music, and it's very hard to get noticed for sure. I like creating music because I like the expression it gives me, and I find it to be relaxing
Mm-hmm.
play. I like the challenge of creating something that I think is appealing to me.
Hmm.
Um, that's just why I do it. Why do you think you do your solo stuff? What spurred that on?
I don't think I have a choice. It's just something that I've always wanted to do since I was very young. So it's definitely it's a drive to create music, and now I am really enjoying the process of collaborating. And I get, you know, it's to me, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's just fulfilling, and to know that, you know, we're all creating this song together. I wouldn't say that there's one songwriter of our songs. Like I think usually Greg will come in with a guitar part, and that'll be the foundation of how the song begins. And then, you know, I'll add the melody line and the vocals, and then you guys, Ron and Alex will, you know, fill it out and add their elements to it. And that process is just, it's really awesome to be a part of that.
So right now, all the songs that you probably have some songs ready, I mean, written down, are most all your writings, or like you said, they come from the other members?
Yeah, there are a lot of ideas. Greg is always writing guitar lines and recording guitar lines.
Okay.
He has tons of them, and when we're in practice, I hear songs all the time starting to develop. But so many ideas that a lot of times, you know, stuff is thrown away, you know, and they never get worked on. Or we'll work on a song idea so hard that we're just beating it to death. You know, and it's like we have to stop working on it because it's going nowhere. And there's just so many ideas. And, you know, when you speak about like collaboration, like Carolyn was, I think that that's something that's really good. Because if you're, from my perspective, if you're working on stuff by yourself all the time, you can become very one-dimensional, and everything starts to sound the same over and over again. But when you have different ideas coming in, that's where I think things get really creative. You know, you're working with people and people's ideas and people's perception of how things should go. So there's a lot of compromise, and in the band, I think it just ends up working to a point where we all kind of tend to agree what's good.
I was going to ask you, Caroline, is there like any events in particular that inspire you to write songs?
So I'm definitely influenced by Chelsea Wolfe these days.
Okay, I know her.
Yeah. And then, you know, growing up, it was definitely the Cranberries, I would say. And, you know, Mazzy Star are the sounds of the 90s that. Yeah.
That guitar, it sounds a lot, sometimes a little cranberry. Cranberries. Yeah, I can say that a little bit. So tell me, what is the story for this year? What are you having in mind to do? Still work on those songs, thinking about putting an EP? What are you still undecided if you're gonna do a full album or an EP?
I don't know. I'd like to do a whole album. I mean, we have, what do we have, like 3 more songs sitting, right? We did, when we went in last time, we did, I think, 4 songs. The re-recorded one, the Give Me Some of You. And then the one we're releasing later next month, we're going to release one. Then we have 2 other ones. We want to go back in. We have a song that we're working on now that I think could be really, really good. So hopefully when we go in to do that, we can have a couple more songs. That's kind of where we're at. I'd like to have enough songs to put something out and figure out a way to maybe put vinyl out,
Okay.
out in a physical format in some way.
Sounds good to me. So I guess we're gonna have to wait for you guys. There's no other choice.
Yeah. Vinyl's very expensive.
Everything is so expensive. Everything. Tell me something that's cheap. There's nothing
Yeah.
cheap anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's the recording plans. As far as playing, again, we're just trying to always find places to play. We're trying to do some dates in Ohio
Okay.
for our trip down to Kentucky. Yay. So we
That would
want to
be a
kind
nice
of
trip.
stop off 2 places on our way to or from Kentucky.
Is that the Dark Castle Festival or something that I read somewhere?
Yes.
That's like like a lot of bands they play there. A lot of
Um,
different bands, or no?
um, I don't know much about the music scene down there. I
Hmm.
know that there started to be a few bands originating out of that area.
Okay.
Kentucky Vampires that are playing on that night, on the one night we're playing. They're
Okay.
very, very good. They started out in that area.
Mhm.
Scary Black, this guy is from down there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they seem to have a very good kind of scene going on.
Hmm.
So we're able to get on that festival.
All right.
I'm glad that, the person that is organizing that could really see the value in adding us to that bill,
Right.
because we are so different from everything else that's going on.
That's nice. Um, I was gonna also ask you. I don't know. It's a stupid question, but why not to ask? Are you guys vegan or some vegetarians?
I am. I'm
Okay.
pretty much vegan. I eat cheese. That's it.
She's just a little dairy product, not that much.
Very little.
What about you, Caroline?
So I was vegan for about 7 years, and then I was vegetarian for probably 10 years. I just started eating meat again, actually.
You like my daughter, but don't be ashamed. My daughter did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Just
But I
asking.
think it's good to make good choices about where you buy your meat. So,
Right.
good choices that way.
Mm. What about? Tell me about Baltimore. Is that I have it? I was in Baltimore many times, but a long time ago. Are there still a lot of clubs there? Is there a lot of? How is the music scene in Baltimore? Are there a lot of places where to play?
There's a few. There's a few places to play. They can be difficult to get into.
Hmm.
It's a very tight-knit kind of thing going on.
Hmm.
So it's somewhat competitive. So it's been difficult for us to play here,
Hmm.
um, which is why I think we are trying to branch out and play in other cities, just to get out and play.
Right. Hmm. Um. I was going to ask you also regarding the way the other besides music, other professions that you do, because doing music is you don't make a living right
No,
now.
no,
So
no.
you had to count on other incomes coming in. What other things you do besides music, if you want to tell me? Unless it's like something that is really dark and you don't want to tell me.
Oh, God.
Uh, One of my favorite things to do in Baltimore, and I will say that Baltimore, I think, has a great local music scene. The bands here, I love to go out and see them and listen to them, and I'm pretty proud of Baltimore just because I feel like there's so much artistic talent. There's so much talent here. So I really feel lucky that I get to be surrounded by so much talent. But then another thing that I love to do in Baltimore is ride my bike through it. It's like just the whole like riding my bike around Baltimore. It's not a huge city, so you really can ride around the whole thing in like a whole day. And they're, you know, working on bike lanes and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I really love to do in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, me, I'm old. I barely leave my house.
You just look through the window and see how the weather is?
I sometimes I don't even get to do that.
You don't even care about the weather anymore.
No, it's irrelevant. I spend all my time in front of a computer doing schoolwork.
Schoolwork? You were a teacher?
No, I wish I was at that level. That'll be like maybe 15 years down the road if I get my PhD. Now I'm just trying to get out of grad school.
Okay, you're doing good.
Right. I'm getting there.
You get in there. I had some, I'm not sure if I should say, but what the hell? Caroline, do you have anything to do with lawyers, attorneys, and stuff? I'm just asking. You may say, no, that's not me.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah.
That's you. That's you. Okay. No,
Yeah.
no. So you're a lawful person. Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
You like things to be done right. At least try.
Absolutely.
Right. That's all right. So that's good. That's
I try to be a lawful person.
You don't have a choice, I think, Ron.
Right. I've changed my ways. I'm now lawful.
You're lawful. When you were young, you were
not so lawful.
You're a little probably rebellious when you were young. I
Yes,
think.
not so lawful.
Right?
Not so lawful.
Yes.
A lot of time looking for people like Carolyn to help me.
Okay. She looks like the right person.
Right.
Just the way she looks.
Right.
She knows how to do right. So I like I said, I really enjoy listening to your music. I just want to hear more songs.
Thank you so much.
It's like you open the faucet and then it just disappeared. There is no water left. So I have to I have to rescue that water and put it back again somewhere. But I want to hear more stuff. I think a lot of people that if they go to YouTube and they see your videos, and you go to, I don't know, do you have a band camp site where they can get your EP? Right, you should have one. I think I saw it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you look at our Instagram page, Talking to Shadows, it has a link tree in the bio, and that will direct anybody to our Bandcamp.
Right, so they can listen to those songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that if something happens, she'll post it. If Ron opens the door and comes out, he's gonna take a picture.
Right. If I can make it out.
If you make it out.
Right. I only come out to work. Then I go right back in.
You don't want to see much people, so you just come back in the house and see the cat. And
right.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna ride all over the studio on my bike.
So if I ever go to Baltimore, I might see Caroline just riding a bicycle through the whole city, just going around and around.
Absolutely, it's my playground.
So like I said, if you want to get in touch with them, you can go like to Bandcamp and YouTube and see the video that they didn't get any permission to get into the cemetery. So if you want to see that, I did, and I really enjoyed it. When I was younger, I used to visit a lot of cemeteries. I don't know why, but I wasn't scared. I'm scared of the people living. Living people, now the dead people, they don't do anything wrong. They're the nicest people around. And you talk to them, and they don't talk back. So it's a good thing. Now tell me, one of the last questions I'm going to ask you. The Talking to Shadows, where do you get that name from? Is that a book, or how do you get that name, Talking to Shadows, and why?
That name was something that I came up with.
Hmm.
I see that it I don't know if I'm correct. I see that it's used as a book also.
Right. Mhm.
My concept of it was kind of like talking to the self, really.
Hmm.
I was self-analyzing. That's just the perception of it that I have.
Hmm. So,
Or maybe even talking to others, right? To others that maybe aren't there, that have, you know, left,
mhm.
travels to the other side, as they
Mhm.
say. I don't know.
Are you a religious people? Are you a religious person? Or do you believe in spirits and all that? I'm just asking.
I mean, I think that to a certain extent, most people have a sense of spirituality on a level, right? I
Hmm.
think it's important to have a sense of spirituality to help us cope with a lot of life stressors. I think historically, in the kind of music that I'm interested in, has always had a spiritual, religious element to it
Hmm.
to some degree.
Right, right. I see that. Is that the same thing for you, Caroline?
I was actually raised in a very strict religious home, and so religion did have a very strong influence on my life. It still does. Um, I wouldn't call myself a religious person now. I'm more definitely a spiritual person though.
Okay. It seems like in your lyrics, that's a lot of that. That's what I
Yes.
see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. That's a good thing, I think. So, yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I hope to see you again, and hopefully this 2023 you do a couple shows. If you ever make it to Jersey and you need me to carry your bass or
All right.
some luggage that you bring, just give me a call.
Thank you, Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they have bands playing in New Jersey now?
New Jersey, especially, there are a couple clubs here in Union, New Jersey. There are some in Newton, New Jersey, some in Dover, New Jersey. There are a couple clubs there. Uh, Hoboken, Hoboken is very close to New York, so they sell a lot of places, but not that like before. They're closed down, a lot of them, so
Yeah.
it's not the same anymore. Even like the record stores, there's barely any left. I
Wow.
always enjoy going to the record stores and touch vinyl and going through them, spending hours. I don't do that anymore.
Oh yeah,
I left.
I get all my vinyl on the internet.
Yeah, so but yeah, I'm getting old, Ron. I don't go to concerts too much anymore.
I'm thinking about maybe this weekend going to one.
Yeah, all right, that sounds good. You're gonna leave the house. Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm still on the
Just kidding.
fence.
I'm a little
It's like,
stupid sometimes.
like, oh no, you're on, Mark. It's like after my usual bedtime, man. I don't. It's like, but I might venture out.
Okay, that's a good thing. Like I don't have any concerts right now till May. And I don't
Right.
want to say who I'm going to see because it has nothing to do with this kind of music we're talking about. I might look bad if I
Oh, I'm definitely going to one in May.
in May. Yeah, I'm going in May. But
Very pricey.
yeah, tell me about it.
Very pricey.
Yeah, but that's why.
Oh yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
A lot of the historic bands or the iconic bands are coming back around, and they want.
So you're going to see one of those bands, I guess.
Oh yeah. So that for me, the only time I'm leaving the house really is to see like an iconic band.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's somebody that, I'll come out and see like local bands here and there.
Right.
Usually when I'm coming out, it's something that I get a rare opportunity to see someone play.
Mm.
Might be, you may never get to see them play again.
Right. There are a bunch of those bands that I would like to see, but so
a lot of them are European bands that don't really come over here anymore.
Right.
Or even back in their time, never really came over here because of, the market. It's not beneficial for them to tour here.
Right. They lose money by coming.
Yeah, they're making tons of money in Europe. Why would they come here?
Yeah. That's right. Well, I think we have done, and I have no problems talking to you again.
Oh, we appreciate
if you guys have something coming out, an EP, LP, double LP, whatever you have.
Yeah.
It would be nice talking to you again.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video for the song that we are releasing next month.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it. We're gonna do a video for that. And we're definitely gonna do some more recording, hopefully before summer starts. Try to get some more music in so that we have stuff ready for when we do this little trip to Kentucky.
That's nice. All right, so we'll keep in touch. I will sure follow them. I follow them, so if I hear something from them, I want to see how they're doing their things. And they're good musicians. I like their music. I like it how she sings. So what else can I ask for? If it's your EP or LP is the same, it has to be the same or better. It cannot be worse. So as long as it's the same or better, it's perfect.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
So I wish you all the best. And guys, next week I will have another conversation. I'm going back to Europe. I gotta say something for the American listeners and viewers. I'm having a lot of problems contacting American bands. Well, not contacting and getting an interview for them, and I don't understand why. Most of my interviews are done in Europe because they agreed to the interviews. It's not that I don't ask for American bands; it's that they don't want to talk to me.
Wow.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I have no idea. Even sometimes they say yes, and then I give them a date and they don't answer. It's like they just disappear.
Wow.
I don't know what happens. I keep trying. I'll keep trying. I'm not giving up.
Good promotion.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it just any kind of way that we can get our music out,
right,
and feel supported, it is beneficial to us, because that's kind of why we do what we do. I mean, we create music for ourselves, but we also want people to hear it.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a musician. If you make a beautiful song and nobody listens to it, what's the purpose of it?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, it was all about, I'm going to be in this band and we're going to be the greatest band that ever was, right? And we'll be huge. And, back in the 80s, it's like, get on a record label, tour the world, Now it's more about creating the music that we want to create and present to other people, and hopefully they will enjoy it. It's not about the big dream of making, and we're not really.
You're not looking for like those big achievements. You're just looking for people to listen to your music and enjoy it. And if you get some money out of it, good.
Yeah, and it's not even about the money, really. It's, because we spend
How are you going to buy your basses and all your instruments with no money? You need money.
Yeah, I mean, I look around in my house. I mean, I have tons of equipment. It's like that I don't even play. Like, it's like, but that I do that for me, and I want to use those amps, those guitars, those whatever to create music for people. It's not about making money for me. It's about making music.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So today is Sunday. We're closing. I got to go to sleep probably soon. I got to get up early tomorrow. I don't know if you guys, no, Ron doesn't have to worry about that. But I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh no, I'm up about a half
America. I got
hour.
to work hard.
I'm up about a half hour after you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought I was the only one getting up at 4:30 in the morning. There are more people.
I'm at work at 7:30. I'm at the
So we're living in the United States. We got to work. There is no choice.
Yes, indeed.
Especially nowadays, which they don't even want to give you a bag when you go to a shopping. And you want to go to a supermarket.
Yes.
You got to carry your own stuff, a big pockets or something else. Who knows?
Yes, you have to pack it yourself too.
Pack it yourself. Very soon you're gonna pay for the receipt if you want one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all right. Those freaking corporations, they're driving me crazy. They're eating everything. Those big dogs. Oh,
while they destroy the planet.
Yeah. What can you say? I'm gonna leave politics aside, but it's looking a little ugly. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, see you next week with another conversation with a band. They're good also. I cannot say they're not good. I think they're good also. So see you next week. Have fun.
Thank you.